Again كده we will start in the digestive system. Okay. If you'd like to know, this is salivary glands. How many salivary glands do we have? 3 pairs of salivary glands. Okay. And the salivary glands secrete saliva that contain amylase enzyme that digest carbohydrates into simple sugar. We have this, the tongue that mixes food with saliva, and this is the organ of taste. By chewing the food and the action of enzyme here inside the mouth, this is 2 types of digestion. طب في الفيديو اللي فات أنا كنت I need to ask you a question. If someone have inflammation in the gallbladder and the doctor said that you have to remove it from the body, so we have to advise this person to don't eat much more egg.
Can you say it again?
Again.
Because the virus is nowhere to be
again a question. If someone have inflammation and problem in the gallbladder and the doctor advised him you have to remove it from the body, so we have to advise this person by minimize eating which kind of food? Fat. Excellent. Excellent. Why? Because bile juice make emulsification to the food to fats into small droplets of fat, because there is no bile juice here, so they have to minimize the amount of fat because there is no emulsification anymore. So it will make a problem in the small intestine and take a longer period of time to be digested, because the larger pieces of fat, it will take a longer period of time to the enzyme, which is lipase enzyme, to penetrate and reaches to the inner part of the big fats. So they have to minimize the amount of fats. And then followed by the esophagus, then stomach, small intestine, then large intestine, and rectum, and at the end, which is the anus. And we have here the liver, and this is gallbladder, and below the stomach كده we can see this a pale color, this of the pancreas. It looks like the plant leaf.
بس أنا ممكن نعمل activity أو أي حاجة يعني نشتغل فيها بإيدينا.
يعني
إن أنا
يعني if I found this the soft copy of the digestive system, I will send it to make it by yourself. يعني والله إحنا كنا المفروض عاملينها في الكلاس، بس طبعا by changing الروتين بتاعنا بقينا اونلاين، فطبعا انتوا كنتوا هتعملوا حاجه الطف من كده بكثير يعني. بس هنلاقي في questions هنا في الباوربوينت، so please concentrate. ها who can tell me yes? ها what's this?
the tongue.
And this is
the gland.
And this one? There is something wrong here in this figure. Who can tell me?
He blended the esophagus with the pharynx.
No, there's something in the general figure.
الأرو.
Yes. Who tell me this? Malak, yes?
Mariam. لا
Mariam. Yes. We said it before, when we try to make the labeling, don't draw arrows. We have to put a point in the middle of the organ and make a line using the ruler and then write the label. What is this?
Liver.
And balloon-like
bladder.
And this is?
Stomach. Pancreas. Small intestine. Large intestine. Rectum.
And anus. Excellent. The body carries out digestion of food to convert the largely insoluble food molecule into smaller soluble one. Why? To be easily absorbed and reaches to the bloodstream, to take the benefits from this food. So we have the complex food, carbohydrates, protein, and fat molecules. Large food molecules cannot pass through the wall of the small intestine. Small food molecules can do this when they dissolve it in the bloodstream. So do you understand why this is important? Digestion is the breakdown of food into small soluble nutrients that can be absorbed into the bloodstream. Stage 1. يعني I don't know why to slow the slow motion. Digestion starts when the food is chewed. This is a physical digestion or this is physical action, so its type of digestion is mechanical one. Saliva is produced in the mouth. It contains an enzyme called amylase enzyme, which begin to break down any starch in the food into simple sugar or glucose sugar. If food is swallowed, it passes through the esophagus. The food is forced down the esophagus by waves of muscular contraction known as peristalsis. And now the food reaches to the stomach. When the stomach enters, the food enters the stomach, it is churned by the muscular wall of the stomach. The food is broken down by enzyme and hydrochloric acid insoluble nutrients. This is chemical digestion. So the enzyme here, which is protease enzyme or pepsin enzyme. When the food enters the stomach, yes, we said it's churned. Okay. And the passage through the alimentary canal, the food is moved through the alimentary canal by wave called the peristalsis. The alimentary canal is lined with a muscular tissue. During the peristalsis, ring of the muscular relax and contract its wave to help to push the food along the canal.
Miss the alimentary canal is the esophagus, right?
هي يعني if you concentrate well هي البريستاليسيس this happens in all of the digestive system اللي هي in all of the tube بس هم they referring to this contraction to the esophagus first. And what happens in the small intestine also the contraction and relaxation.
Okay.
يعني how the food passes through the small intestine also by peristalsis, but most of the question ask about the esophagus.
Esophagus.
Yes, after the food is swallowed, it enters the stomach, which is in a muscular bag filled with hydrochloric acid. Two things happens to food in the stomach. The chemical breakdown of food begins and the microbes are destroyed. But who can tell me which kind of digestion in the stomach?
Chemical.
Chemical.
Chemical only?
And mechanical
And
because of the
physical.
churning.
So we have the churning, this is mechanical digestion, and we have the effect of enzyme, which is chemical one. So we have both. So now we have two places of the both digestion, mouth and stomach. From stomach, food enters the small intestine where digestion is completed and small digested food molecule absorb it into the bloodstream. And this is asked about this, the physical digestion or the mechanical one. So why it is important that increase the surface area to make the digestion faster. Right. Who can tell me which kind of digestion in small intestine? Which,
Small
which
intestine.
type of digestion happens in small intestine?
Physical. Mechanical.
Mechanical only?
Yes, there is no chemical.
Sure. Type first.
There is
Yes.
because of the intestinal juice and the pancreatic juice
Yes,
and that comes from out from
yes. Come and reaches to the small. So we have
ايوه
both type of digestion. The first
بس
one,
بس بس
emulsification. So please listen. Emulsification, it's a mechanical digestion that happens by the bile juice. And where is the chemical digestion here? The pancreatic juice contains amylase, protease, and lipase enzyme. Intestinal juice contains amylase, protease, and lipase enzyme, all of them in the small intestine to complete the digestion of food. If there are some of the carbohydrate not digested yet, so the effect of amylase, it will break it down and digest it. If the remaining of the protein not digested in the stomach, to completely digest it in small intestine. And the fats start to digested in small intestine by the effect of lipase enzyme. So we have now three places contains the two type of digestion.
Mouth, stomach, and small
where is the
intestine.
mechanical digestion inside the small intestine?
Emulsification of the bile juice.
Okay.
As we change
Means
from
that comes from
emulsification,
outside that.
yes, the emulsification changes large fats into small droplets of fats. So it will change the size as chewing, as churning the food. So this is mechanical digestion. You have to remember,
And the
bile
saliva.
juice doesn't contain enzyme. It just make emulsify.
Means the saliva in the mouth is the chemical digestion.
The saliva it contain enzyme. So there is a mechanical and a chemical one. Chewing, mechanical. The effect of enzyme, amylase enzyme in the mouth, this is chemical. So now we have three places contains two type of digestion: mouth,
Mouth,
stomach,
stomach,
and
and small
small
intestine.
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 Okay. Here, the digested particles are absorbed in the bloodstream. Only smaller molecules, such as glucose, are able to diffuse. So the process of transporting the digested food and reaches to the blood, which is diffusion. We take a diffusion before from the part of high concentration to the low concentration. So we need it to be reached to the simple nutrient, which is, for example, glucose, easily to be absorbed and reaches to the bloodstream by diffusion through طبعا الايه البلار. After the small intestine, the remains of any undigested food travels to the large intestine. All that is left of the food, water and waste material. The water is valuable and so it is absorbed in the large intestine, but most of the water absorbed in small intestine, and the remaining or the excess water absorbed in large intestine. The waste material cannot be digested or used by the body, and undigested waste travel to the rectum where it's stored until leaving the body through the anus. Yes, now can you are able to label it? So if in front of you this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we have the small intestine. In which place?
Number
3, I think.
1.
Yes, 3. Large?
The one on the right.
The one.
1. Yes. Anus?
Down.
5.
5.
Left.
Rectum?
2.
4.
And the extra label here, we have the appendix, not
Appendix.
present this year. So it is not necessary to know it this year. Okay. Yes, well done. Okay. Yes, are you ready for the questions, or leave it to you this and give it to you the time to make it at home to pass all the PowerPoint? Then you can solve this at home, no problem. So what about the digestive enzyme? Enzyme catalyze. When some ask about what's meant by enzyme, enzyme is a biological catalyst. What's
A
meant
biological
by
catalyst.
catalyst? Yes, what's meant by biological catalyst? Something
A
that
substance that speeds
speed
up
up
the reaction.
the chemical reaction, especially here, digestion. So the enzyme catalyzes thousands of reactions that needs to take place in order to maintain life. So we need this enzyme in respiration, in protein synthesis, and also in digestion. Digestive enzyme break down large food molecule into smaller one, as they can to be absorbed and reaches to the bloodstream, which is chemical digestion. Let us see what happens to the larger molecule and change it into simpler one. So we have here carbohydrates, which for example of it, which is amylase. The big word على فكرة, the big word of enzyme is carbohydrates. We have lots of enzyme included. One of these carbohydrates is amylase that breaks down starch into simple sugar. Protease enzyme that breaks down protein. Lipase enzyme that breaks down fats. What is the relation between lipase and fats? We know that in each one of them that related to its name. Here, lipase related to the lipids. What is the lipid? Which is equal fats. If someone talk about this is instead of fats, it's lipid. Okay, that's right. That break it down into fatty acids and glycerol. Let us see. Yes, if we have here the one molecule of fats, by the effect of lipase enzyme, Yeah, I don't know what is yes, we have to start with the starch. معرفش هي ليه في slow motion كده. Now, if it is this a similar units, how can we know this is starch or protein or fat? If they are similar units joined together, so this is a starch molecule. Each one of them is a simple sugar. Okay.
Sorry,
Which
I was
enzyme بقى؟
disconnected with the sound.
The enzyme looks like the scissor as break it down into smaller one. You can find here the word of maltose. Maltose هو simpler than الستارش، لكن الجلوكوز هو simpler than المالتوز. يعني المالتوز أصلا made up of two glucose sugar. بس احنا مش علينا السنة دي المالتوز، احنا بنقول simple sugar or glucose. يبقى instead of maltose you can replace it with a simple sugar أو glucose sugar. مش عارفة ليه الباوربوينت عامل سلو موشن جامد. ادي الاميلase act as a scissor that cut it into smaller particles which اللي هي simple sugar. طب let us see the protein. How can we know this is a protein? We can find them different units joined together. If you find different units joined together, so this is a protein molecule. By the effect of protease enzyme, it will break it down into amino acid. هما they are different units, so we have to decide it's a protein molecule. And by the action of protease enzyme, it will separate the bond between these amino acids. So it gives you a amino acids.
مش ممكن تقوليها تاني؟
تاني. طب in front of you similar unit ولا different unit? Here.
different.
Different. So you have to decide it's a protein molecule. If you find them all of them similar to each other, يبقى دول ايه؟ يبقى ده starch. لو لقيناهم different from each other, يبقى ده ايه؟ protein. البروتين ده need a protease enzyme to digest it. هنا كاتب لنا pepsin and trypsin enzyme. ايه التريبسين ده؟ هو مش عليك برضو السنة دي، بس هو one of the protease enzyme. طب هم ليه مغيرين؟ يعني بس يعني this is for your information. احنا قلنا في الاستومك ممكن نقول عليها بروتيز او بيبسين انزيم. طب ليه تريبسين؟ التريبسين ده على فكرة هو one of the protease enzyme برضو، بس هو ده اللي موجود في السمول انتست. ممكن اقول عليه بروتيز برضو، مفيش اي مشكلة. So the protease enzyme, this is the general word. It contains lots of enzyme included. Each one of them called amino acids. هنشوف الفاتس بقى في ايه؟ في سلايد تانية افضل. تاني اهو كده ريفيجن ليها تاني. ادي similar units joined together, so this is starch molecule or carbohydrate molecule. But I prefer to write this starch because the carbohydrate in general divided into two types. One of them is simple, which is sugar, and the other complex, which is starch. By the breaking down of carbohydrate enzyme or amylase enzyme, it will break down into simple sugar molecule. The second one, which is protein, we can find different units joined together, so we can decide it's a protein molecule. By the effect of protease enzyme or whatever بقى pepsin enzyme in the stomach or any protease enzyme, it will break down into amino acids. We have about 20 different amino acids. الفاتس بقى بتحصل in two steps. The first step about the emulsification, firstly bile released by the gallbladder. Okay, allow the fat to mix with the water by breaking the fat into smaller droplets of fat. This process called emulsification. يعني كلمة emulsification هي mechanical digestion as done by physical action by the effect of bile. But the bile doesn't contain enzyme, it just breaks down the big fats into small droplets of fat. And the second step, so why we need it to be smaller? To increase the surface area that's subjected to the reaction. الدايجستيف انزيم اللي هو اللايبيز بيعمل ايه بقى؟ جايه من الليبيد، اوكي، والليبيد هي الفات. بيعمل بريك داون للفاتس into fatty acids and a glycerol. طب where does this happen? In the small intestine. طب who can solve? In front of you carbohydrates, protease, and lipase enzyme. Yes, if we have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Carbohydrates,
It breaks carbohydrate into certain molecule.
2.
2.
Protease,
It breaks protein into
One.
amino
1.
acids.
And lipase breaks
Breaks
fat,
fat
one.
into
glycerol,
glycerol and
and
fatty acid.
Fatty acid.
yes, that's right. So we have the mechanical digestion in teeth in mouth and churning the effect, and emulsification done
Which is
by
small
a
intestine.
Right. Please, all of you, open your study notes, page 54. Please concentrate about this information. Absorption of water in the small intestine is more than absorption of water in large intestine. Right. Please, all of you, open. طب احنا هنا we have a question. نشوف الquestion الأول وبعد كده نشوف page 54 to complete
Okay.
it. Okay. Yes. So which type of food usually provide most of the energy? Carbohydrates. Yes.
Carbohydrates.
Next. Which type of food is used by the body for growth and repair?
Protein.
That's a no.
Next. Which type of food that needs a small amount?
Vitamins and minerals.
Yes. What are carbohydrates made up of?
B.
A.
B.
Long chains of small sugar molecules.
Carbohydrate.
B.
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 هو في حاجة اسمها كاربو موليكيول؟
لا.
لا. هي شوجر موليكيول. رنا متأخرة ليه يا رنا؟ السيشن بتخلص أصلا.
C.
What are protein made up of?
C.
C. Amino acid. Yes. How many different amino acids?
20.
20.
20. Excellent. طيب ودي مش مشكلة. Question. ولا
30.
مشكلة. Which process doesn't happen in the stomach?
C.
Production.
Carbohydrate production.
Carbohydrate production.
Yes. What is not a type of digestive enzyme?
A. Sunday.
Sundays.
مفيش حاجة اسمها سانديز أصلا بيلخبطوا. طيب. Please now open page. عايزين تحلوا دي كمان ولا ايه؟ Okay.
حلو.
ماشي. Now, in which part of the digestive system is a bile made?
Liver.
لا.
Liver.
صح.
Liver. bile juice صح. مش عارفة ليه بطيء برضه.
But it's stored in the gallbladder.
بس made by liver.
Released in the small intestine.
In which part of the digestive system is the food is chewed? بطيء. طب يلا اللي بعد. Which part of digestive system connecting mouth to the stomach?
Esophagus.
ماشي. مش هنستناه بقى يعمل التك، احنا عارفين انه صح. In which part of digestive system is water absorbed from undigested food?
Large intestine.
Large intestine.
In which part of digestive system is bile stored?
Gallbladder.
جميل. In which part of digestive system is bicarbonate added to digesting food in order to neutralize it؟ يعني ايه الكلام اللي بتقوليه ده بقى؟ يعني ايه؟
stomach.
أول small intestine.
شوفها small intestine.
small intestine.
طب ممكن نفكر شويه كمان. هو عندنا
ما
طبعا
هي الستامك هي الوحيدة اللي بيحصل فيها neutralization عشان هي
ايوه
فيها acids والحاجات بتكون نازلة من فوق alkaline.
ايوه اوكي بس مين اللي بيحصل لها؟ مين اللي بيخليها
الماوث.
هو الماوث اصلا هي ايه؟ هي فيها
ايوه السلايفا ده alkaline.
طيب في عندنا جوسز بتخلي اصلا السمول انتستين الكالاين. بص هو في 3 اماكن فيهم الالكالاين ميديا، الماوث والايه، لا تو بليسز بس، الماوث والايه والسمول انتستين. اوكي، لكن في حاجات بتطلع اللي هي البايكربونات اللي بيقصد عليها دي، اللي هي ايه؟ الليفر اللي هي بتطلع البايل جوس which is ايه بيعمل نيوتراليزيشن، والبنكرياس، والسمول انتستين كمان هي بتخلي الميديم الكالاين. بس الميجر او هو طبعا مش هيعمل تيك على 3، هو I think they choose ايه. تعالوا كده نجرب. عمل
ميزوس ما اعتقدش ان هي pancreas عشان هو قال in which part قصدي it's added to the digesting food والdigesting food مش بيوصل للبنكرياس.
صح، ما هو بنكرياس بس هو poured هي poured في small intestine. ما هو they add بس
I can't understand this point.
هو مش عليكوا
ولا انا.
اصلا يعني عشان بس ما تبقوش ملخبطين، مش عليكوا جزء البايكربونات خالص. ايه عدوا الكويستشن ده مش مهم. In which part of digestive system is soluble food absorbed؟ ها؟
small
intestine.
small intestine.
small intestine.
لازم نحلف الورك بوك بقى يعني.
آخر سؤال بقى، in which part of digestive system is hydrochloric acid produced؟
stomach.
stomach. هو اللي يعمل اكس.
هاتوا بقى page 54 آخر حاجة خالص. احنا فاضلين كده.
اوكي.
آخر حاجة خالص. هنا 54 جاي بشكل القطة دي، بيقول لك إن ال digestion happens in 4 process. اوكي، ايه اللي بيحصل للفود؟ 4 process اللي هم ايه بقى؟ ingestion هي الفود taken into the mouth, chewed and cut into smaller pieces، يبقى ده mechanical digestion اللي هي start eating the food. وبيحصل كمان نوع تاني من ال digestion اللي هو الايه؟ الchemical one by production of enzyme to change the complex food into simpler to be easily absorbed and reduced to the bloodstream. طب next step اللي هي بيحصل فيها absorption from small intestine and reaches to the bloodstream, and then the blood starts transported all over the body cell, and this is absorption. Elimination or digestion هي removing or getting rid of feces outside اللي هي undigested food outside. So the food passes in 4 stages. Ingestion related to the mechanical digestion. Digestion, this is related to the chemical one by changing the complex into simpler one. Absorption, transporting of digested food from small intestine to the blood. And elimination or digestion, getting rid of undigested food outside. فيها أي problem؟
No.
طيب احنا كده المفروض خلصنا الايه؟ اللسن ده. يا ريت نقراه كويس قوي، ولو حد عايز اي حاجه تاني نعيدها مفيش اي مشكله. عندنا بقى homework من page 80 لحد page 88. اوكي related to the digestive system. معاكم كده
من 80 لحد page 80 كام؟
من 80 ل 88. مش احنا اخر homework كان لحد 79؟ starting from 80 لحد 88 ده related to the digestive system. والاسبوع اللي جاي ان شاء الله عندنا الايه؟ عندنا كويز يوم الثلاث في الدايجستيف سيستم والنيوتريشن. معلش احنا الفترة اللي جاية محتاجين نجري. معلش انا عارفة ان احنا مضغوطين، بس على الاقل الليسنز دي متكررة، سواء الدرس ده ولا اللي بعديه اللي هو السيركيلاتري